Hey, what's up guys, it's Justin here, and today I've got the unboxing and first look of the new HTC One M9. So the HTC One M8 was arguably one of the best smartphones of last year. However, there were a few things that did hold it back and had a lot of us anxious to see what HTC would do this year. So here is their answer, the HTC One M9. So from taking a look at the packaging, you could see that it is quite simple in general, nothing too special about that. And on the back, there's just some basic information and specs, including the Qualcomm Snapdragon 810 processor, which is octa-core and 64-bit, a nano SIM card slot, internal memory of 32GB and 3GB of RAM, a 5-inch Full HD 1080p display, the awesome HTC boom sound speakers with Dolby Audio, and that 20-megapixel rear-facing camera with 4K video recording capability that a lot of us are very curious to try out. So I think it's about time I stop rambling here, and let's go ahead and open up the HTC One M9 and give you guys a first look at it as well. So just opening up the packaging here, you will see that you were greeted with the phone right off the bat, and there's just some information on where the camera's located, the buttons, which by the way is newly placed, and there is also some information of the protection, which I will go into more detail. Personally, I opted for the silver and gold model, however it is also available in gunmetal as well and a few other colors. But I think this time around I like the look of the silver and gold model more, while for the M8 I definitely preferred the gunmetal. So just a whole bunch of paperwork here, the SIM card and also an HTC sticker, and other than that you have the power socket and also the micro USB cable. For some reason there is no headphones. So let's go ahead and talk a bit about the protection, which was newly introduced with the M9. So with the first 12 months of your device, if you crack the screen or water damage it, you get a free phone replacement, no questions asked. If you don't use the replacement credit within that 1 year, they will give you $100 towards the purchase of your next HTC One. So definitely a very cool system. So without further ado, let's go ahead and boot this up for the first time. So as you may have noticed right off the bat is that the power button is located on the side now. As you know, on the M8 and the M7 it was located on the top, but being such a large device, a lot of people found that very hard to access. But the issue with having the buttons located on the side is that they decided to have the volume rocker separated instead of having it in one bar, but have them both on the same side as well. So a lot of times I feel like I will be getting it confused with the volume rockers when I'm actually trying to press the power button. So I think it would have been nice if they had moved one of them to the other side. So after quickly breezing through that setup process, let's go ahead and show you around the HTC One M9. So this time around it does run HTC's Sense UI 7.0. And of all the smartphone skins implied by the manufacturers, I have to say HTC does have one of my favorite. It has a nice clean visual experience, and I definitely enjoyed it on the M8 with Sense 6. So with an octa-core processor, you definitely expect this device to be very snappy, and from using it, it definitely seems that way. The overall interface hasn't changed too much. There's a few interface changes in terms of the transitions here and there, but in terms of the notification tab, it seems quite familiar, which is a good thing as I definitely enjoyed it last year. HTC has also added some personalization features in terms of your background. They've also played around with some stuff in the dot view case, which I may be picking up, and also a personalized home screen for when you're at work or at home for people who may want to use that. And the camera app has stayed pretty much the same as well for the most part. But other than that, I'll be playing around with this device over the next few weeks, and be sure to listen for more in that full review as I test out the software and try out the new things that they have introduced to Sense 7. But as of now, I'm definitely enjoying it as I did last year. So in terms of the hardware itself, the device does still look very nice. It is almost the same size as the HTC One M8, however it is a few millimeters shorter. It is still a 5-inch 1920 by 1080 resolution full HD display, so HTC did not jump onto the QHD game. And of course those great boom sound speakers on the front, and that front facing camera is an ultra pixel camera now. Flipping it over to the back, once again the device does still sport its nice aluminum finish, but this time HTC has said that it is not as slippery as the previous generation. And that is thanks to its anodization process. The silver accent definitely has more of a shimmer to it compared to the silver model last year, but in general I think it's great that HTC has stuck to the metal construction, as that's one of the things that consumers loved in its previous years. The device measures in at 9.6 millimeters thick and weighs in at 157 grams, so it is slightly thicker than the M8. As you can see, the gold and silver model does have a nice gold accent running along the edge, and some people may like that while others may prefer just the whole phone being the same color in terms of the gunmetal model. On the top you will find your IR blaster still and those volume and power buttons located on one side. Another thing I noticed about the M9 is that it also has a pretty decent sized lip that goes in between where the display and the back casing of the device meets. And that is likely to contribute to the grip of the device as well, as the M8 really had nothing for you to grip on, therefore it was very easy to just slip out of your hand. And on the back, this time we finally say goodbye to the ultra pixel camera, and instead comes a 20 megapixel rear facing camera sensor, and I'll definitely be putting that to the test. But other than that, hope you guys enjoyed this unboxing and first look of the new HTC One M9, and if you did, be sure to hit that like button as there is tons of coverage coming up, and let me know what videos you would like to see on it, and I'll see you all in the next video.